What's going on, guys? We have a lot that we're going to get into today. We're going to get into a review of the Denver Broncos season. We're going to get into the Kansas City Chiefs and their antics. We're going to be getting into the Russell Wilson benching. So first off, we're going to recap this season. I've been kind of quiet because I've just been kind of sitting back because this team is an accident waiting to happen. Like I said in my previous podcast, how many more games a team's coughing up the ball, giving you the game, do you have left in the tank? And that's where your success starts, and that's also, if it stops happening, where it will end. Inevitably, things balanced out. Inevitably, teams stopped coughing up the ball. They went to Houston, ran into a buzzsaw. They beat the Chargers, who are dog shit. The Chargers are absolutely dog shit. And that's whatever. Who cares about that? Then you go and run into another buzzsaw, another Miami-esque game in Detroit. So this year, your great defense, 42 points to the fucking Lions and 70 to the Dolphins. Two teams who put together 4 quarters of mistake-free football, simplistic football, beat your ass. Right? The Chiefs and Bills games, those were flukes. They turned the ball over, I think, 5 times each. I think the Chiefs did 6 and the Bills did 5. And you still lost that game. It only took a 12 men on the field on a, by the way, missed game-winning kick so you could re-kick, then he made it. So that win comes with an asterisk. Then your season's on the line, which is where the defense should step up against probably the worst offense in the NFL in Bailey Zappi and the New England Patriots. And what do you get? Defense can't stop Bailey Zappi and the Patriots. Marvin Mims coughing up the ball. And then after, what do you get? You get the classic scapegoat. There's a yearly scapegoat. Last year, Nathaniel Hackett. The year before that, it was Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater and Vic Fangio. And then this year, it's Russell Wilson. Every year, there's a yearly scapegoat. Can't blame the front office. Can't blame the front office who brought these players in here. Blame Russell Wilson, bench Russell Wilson, but don't blame the guy who brought Russell Wilson in. Don't blame the guy who pulled the trigger on the contract. Don't blame the guy who inked the fucking contract and typed up the contract before he took a snap. No. Just blame Russell Wilson, who, by the way, this year hasn't even played poor football. But someone's got to get the blame. And no, can't be the front office. Which essentially gives me the answer that I'm looking for, that the front office and John Elway are still lurking around in the background. And next year we're going to be quarterback. Not offensive line, not defensive line, not inside linebackers, not safeties, not a better wide receiver room, not better tight ends. Quarterback. But how you've treated your last few quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock, and Russell Wilson in particular, absolutely disgusting. You fans need to be ashamed of yourselves. Weren't you guys 5 weeks ago talking about how he should win comeback player of the league, comeback player of the year? He should win, he could win MVP. He's putting up better numbers than Mahomes, and then now you're turning on him. Even though the reason they lost wasn't Russell Wilson's fault. Was it Russell Wilson's fault that Marvin Mims coughed up the ball at the goal line on a kickoff and they scored a touchdown? Was it Russell Wilson's fault that the defense couldn't stop the Patriots from getting into field goal range, even though Russell Wilson drove them down the field and threw the game-tying touchdown and converted 2 fucking 2-point conversions? Get the fuck out of here. I'm not a big fan of Russell Wilson and Sean Payton together, but the failures of this year are not on Russell Wilson, I'll tell you that much. That's what the front office wants you to think, because you can't point the finger at the people who have built this roster to be what it is. You don't have a quarterback problem. You have a 53-man roster problem. And after this whole benching of Russell Wilson, Sean Payton's made it very clear that he doesn't like Russell Wilson. So get rid of the guy, eat the fucking money, build around Jarrett Stidham, meaning you keep him as your guy, whether he's good, bad, or ugly, and you build the rest of the team around him. By the time, because it's going to be a several-year process, and you're going to have to draft, you're going to have to develop, because with the cap space, you're not going to have the money to bring in free agents. So you're going to see a few dog shit years, probably 3 or 4 of them, consecutively, because they have to get out of this Russell Wilson contract, and they have to build and develop. Meaning you're going to have to stick to Sean Payton. And how committed is Sean Payton to this organization? That's up in the air for me. I think he's just here for retirement. I mean, seriously, if Antonio Pierce doesn't get the Raiders job, I'm throwing the kitchen sink at this guy. I'm a big Antonio Pierce fan. What he's doing with the Raiders, amazing. I love it. Old school, smash mouth, no nonsense. Commands respect of his players. Doesn't play that bullshit. The anti-Denver Broncos coach, and that's what they need. They need a tone setter. They need a no bullshit, rugged attitude, and they need to play the smash mouth football their team is built to do. And in this offseason, I'd be getting mean in the trenches. Bigger, stronger, more physical. Me, if I was building it, I'm building a run-first, play-action team. Run the fucking ball. Right down their fucking throats. I'm not going to build a finesse team like the Chiefs. The greatest shot. No. Old school, kill the guy in front of you, smash a motherfucker in the face football. Run the ball down their throat for 4 fucking quarters, tire them out, have them winded, have them hurting, have them scared to play you. My defensive line, same thing. If you don't generate a pass rush of 4 guys, you need to fucking get better. Your inside linebackers, you got to move Baron Browning back to the middle, develop Drew Sanders, but I would honestly draft another inside linebacker if it's a 3-4 system, because Alex Singleton and Josie Jewell are hot garbage. They're slow, they're unathletic, they can't cover, they're not good tacklers. Sometimes they'll, bust up the middle, hit that gap, and hit the running back in the back. But that's not going to seal the deal for me. You need better inside linebackers. You need better safeties. Your secondary is not very impressive. Then once you fix all of that, then focus on the quarterback. You got the quarterback and the coach, and everything went your way as far as injuries on the other team, how easy your schedule was, teams coughing up the ball, and you're still sitting at 7-8. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Season on the line. You have the most favorable schedule to run the table on against the Patriots, Chargers, and Raiders, and you couldn't even get past the New England Patriots, which was the easiest one on that schedule. Why? Because your team's not good enough. Your roster is not good enough. And you guys think I hate the Broncos? I don't hate the Broncos. I want to see this team competitive again. I want to see this team winning football games again. I want this team to be like the fucking Steelers, be like the Ravens, where they're consistently good every year. Nobody wants to play them. They're physical, they're smash mouth, they're tough football teams. The Broncos are anything but that. They're the anti-that. And what, they would have made the playoffs and got smacked around in the wild card game? What is that going to achieve? Those wins that the fucking Chiefs and Bills gifted to you, that set the franchise back. But I'm hoping that this New England Patriots loss and this blowout for the fucking Dolphins and the fucking Lions brought them back to reality and showed that they're not there. You need to really make over this front office. You need to allow the GM to be a GM. Allow the film department to be the film department. Allow the scouting to be the scouting. And you need to allow the head coach to be the head coach. And you need to build a team the right way. Through the draft, through development, through continuity, through the good and the bad. And you need to do it the right fucking way. That's what I want to see. You think I want to see fucking You think I want to see Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, a player and a coach who don't match each other, mashed together in a system? No. I want to see a team like the 49ers. I want to see a team like Miami, like fucking Baltimore, particularly Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Consistently good every year. In the mix every year. But the Broncos fan base ought to be ashamed of themselves. You just Drew Locked, you just Paxton Lynched Russell Wilson. Now let's get into the fucking Kansas City Chiefs. First off, the Kansas City Chiefs are dog shit. Patrick Mahomes, overrated as fuck. I mean, you have a fucking franchise here who thinks that they're the New England Patriots of the 2000s, and they'll never be on that level. Mahomes is not the GOAT. He's not even top 10. He probably won't even crack top 10 when it's said and done. You're talking about a guy who came to a Chiefs team who was competitive without him, who had the player personnel without him. Then he comes in, benefits from the player personnel for a few years, then they all fizzle out, and now here he is making all of the money, but doesn't have the help around him because he took all the money. And now he's laying in the bed he made for himself, and now he wants to blame his teammates, wants to blame his coaches, wants to blame the organization, even though he's the one who benefited from this organization. In fact, the only mistake the organization made was signing you to that massive contract. You're not Tom Brady. People trying to say that Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. Didn't Tom Brady go into Arrowhead at age 40 and drop Mahomes off in Arrowhead? Didn't Tom Brady at the age of 43 put a fucking smackdown on Mahomes in the Super Bowl? Oh, okay. Didn't Tom Brady play tougher competition? Like, did Tom Brady have Peyton Manning, the Steel Curtain, Baltimore, every single year breathing down his neck? Didn't he have to go against Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Brian Dawkins? I mean, must I keep going on? Every fucking year? Didn't he have to get through Peyton Manning every year? Wasn't the fucking defense allowed to play defense back in the day? Mahomes has no Tom Brady, or Mahomes has no Peyton Manning that he has to go against. Who the fuck does he have to get through? The inconsistent Bills? I mean, get the fuck out of here. Mahomes has it made. If Tom Brady and Peyton Manning were in their primes in this generation of the NFL, they'd be if you put them on the NFC and AFC, they'd be the only two quarterbacks playing each other in the Super Bowl. They don't have a fucking Baltimore, San Diego Chargers. They don't have any of those types of teams, the Broncos. They don't have any of those types of teams on their neck. It's an easy cakewalk to the Super Bowl every year from Mahomes. And they get referee help. Don't ever compare. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and all these guys, if they played in today's NFL, they'd be scoring 50 a game minimum. Absolutely dog shit. But what the Broncos did to Russell Wilson is absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Just another scapegoat, another blame the quarterback / coach / whoever the fuck they decide to blame. Ignore the front office. Ignore all of that. Blame the quarterback. Tell me something new. You guys deserve the years that are coming to you because they're not going to be pretty. They're not going to be pretty. Your only hope is that they actually realize that they're not that good and that they actually need to build and develop. And even when they do that, you're going to have a few consecutive years of maybe 2 or 3 win seasons. You got to rebuild. And you got to do it right. The most likely scenario is they're not even going to realize that, and you're just going to keep staying stuck in this limbo they've been stuck in since 2016. So, you fans need to decide whether you want to actually commit to a rebuild and actually fucking do it the right way, or whether you want to continue bringing in retreads, continue fucking basically the same recipe you've tried for the last 7 or 8 years in a row and got you absolutely nowhere. But Russell Wilson is the 2023 scapegoat. Who do you guys think will be the scapegoat next year? I got my money on Sean Payton next year.